as a woman who has been through way too much abuse and emotional and mental manipulation in my life and in relationships, I know those things are so important to me. If I don't feel stable in a relationship and that person, I don't trust their emotions and their mental maturity, I'm not going to be in it because I've done too much healing to go down to that. And that makes it really, really hard. In fact, if you are with someone who has a defense mechanism, as you level up in life and as you do the healing, you're going to become a trigger for them. I did a lot of healing and that person just, I became a trigger to them. And it's really, really hard. It's heartbreaking. Think about your relationships and ask yourself, why am I scared to walk away? Why am I scared to set boundaries? Why am I scared to stand up for myself? How do you know if you are in a lasting relationship? How do you know if the relationship you're in is going to stand the test of time? Are you in a new relationship? Maybe it's not super new. Maybe you've been in the relationship for 5 years, 10 years, maybe just 1 or 2 years. You still have that lingering thought or worry of, is this relationship going to last? Can we stand the test of time? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to talk to you today about, is how to know when your relationship is going to make it. What test can you do to see, hey, are we in it for the long haul and being happy, or is this going to be a miserable relationship? Well, that's exactly what we're going to discuss today. So, if you've read my book, then you know the hell I went through, right? And the tumultuous divorce and going from 100% mom to 50% with my kids. And if, you read the book, then you also know some of the other relationships before that I had. A lot of toxicity. And, I've learned so very much. And I'm so very grateful to have this platform where I can share my wisdom with you. And as I've always said, wisdom does not come with age. Absolutely not. You're not wise because of your age. Wisdom can only be achieved or gained by choosing to learn from your experiences. Notice I said choosing, right? Because your experiences don't give you wisdom. Your experiences don't teach you unless you allow them to. Now, every single thing that comes your way, every negative adversity, what seems like a setback, downfall, it is very intentional. The timing is right. It is meant to happen to you when it does, because in that adversity and that painful season and lesson is exactly what you need to learn in order to become who you're meant to be. But you have to choose that via free will. I also discuss that in my book, #1 bestseller, Unfuck Your Mind. All right, I'm going to get right to it today. It's easy to tell each other when you're in a relationship, right? Especially a new one, right? It's really easy in that beginning lovebird phase to tell each other how you're always going to be, how you would never treat them, what you would never say, never do, how you would never behave or act like. It's easy to say those things, not only in the beginning of the relationship, but it's also easy to say those things. Maybe your relationship isn't new. Maybe it's a year, 2, 3, 10 years old. And when you're really calm with one another, maybe you've just gotten over an argument or a fight and you're being really nice to each other and you're calm. It's really, really easy at that moment to tell each other, I understand I won't act like that again. I understand I won't behave like that again. I understand I'll never say that again, right? You get my drift. It's easy to say that. And the other person wants to believe it. And the thing is that they should be able to believe it. But if this relationship has already been through a few arguments or fights, and those things are empty promises have already been said, and obviously not fulfilled if you're having to say it again, that person doesn't believe what you're saying. They know it's just a matter of time before it happens again. Now, if you are with someone who has been in a abusive relationship, especially one that was a narcissistic abusive relationship, mentally, emotionally, in past relationships where it was also physical abuse. If you are with someone who has been in those situations in the past or just got out of one, please know that that person is probably not going to be able to put up with a whole lot of empty promises, especially if that person's done some healing. And I'm speaking from my own personal experience in life. I don't put up with a lot of shit. And I'm one of those people who once I've had enough, I've had enough and I'm done. And there's nothing that can be done or said. It's just, because I try really hard, I give myself, all of myself into my relationships, into my friendships. And I also know that by the time I've given up, I've already given one too many chances, one too many, you know what, they're having a bad days. I've already given too many of those away. And you know what? How many of those do you have to give away before you say, seriously? The thing is people are scared to leave. People are scared to leave relationships because they become complacent. They become comfortable. I don't want to say content because content to me means it means things are kind of calm in a sense. You know what I'm saying? But those empty promises are not going to be what sees the relationship through all the hard times, right? And so the other day I was writing and I wrote this, and it was that, it's easy to believe that everything that is said in the beginning of the relationship, the love phase, everything that's said when it's calm, it's easy to believe that. It's easy to believe those words. But what is said in the calm moments cannot keep a relationship strong. It's what is said, done, shown, and given in the heated moments, in the hard times. My friends, when you have triggered your significant other and they see red, because a person, especially if you're in a relationship with someone who has a defense mechanism, and they get super defensive and they kind of say things in the twisted version of reality of what really took place. It was really sad. When those people are triggered, boy, they see red and you can't get through to them. You're like talking to a brick wall. You're not going to get through to them. And they are unleashing on you the pain that initially caused that insecurity that's so deep, because it typically stems from a dad or a mom. And it cuts so deep that they don't see reality. And when that happens, they're going to say some mean stuff. They're going to possibly leave, give you the silent treatment and ghost you, because that's a real fucking huge sign of maturity, isn't it? Huh? That's how they react, because it's like a hurt child and they just go, boom, they see red, whatever it was that triggered them, took them all the way back to when, mommy or daddy made them feel like they weren't good enough and they had to defend themselves. And they made a promise to themselves long ago, I'll always defend myself. No one's ever going to be mean to me. And, this person could be in their 40s or in their 50s. And all of a sudden they look like they're fucking 7 years old. Hey, it happens. But those people are really, really hard to be in a long-lasting relationship with, because they want to sweep things under the rug. They want to not talk about it. They want to pretend that what happened or what was said or done was just misconstrued and what you're saying is really not what happened. They kind of like to pin things on you. It's a narcissistic trait, but they're not narcissists typically. But they don't understand that how you get through an argument in a relationship is going to be a huge factor into how long that relationship is going to last. Because you have to be able to count on your partner. They have to be dependable. You have to know that they're not going to just go off on something at any moment, fly off the handle. And, maybe there's a family trip that's planned that's canceled, or they leave without you, or, they don't show up on Thanksgiving, or, they walk out on you on a special day. These people can make make it about them so very easily. And it's really, really hard to be in a relationship with those kind of people. So if that is who you're dealing with, you know, I don't have good news. I don't necessarily have bad news on that. I just have facts, which are that's a tough one because these people they have to make some changes and they have to go and heal that inner wound from their childhood that is causing them to be so fucking defensive and just, super, super sensitive to any sort of trigger that reminds them of that moment. So, you know, if that's what you're dealing with, I'm so very sorry. Unfortunately, I think sometimes it takes leaving these people. Um, and that's my advice. If you have told your partner that like, hey, the way that you behaved when you were mad the other day, when we were fighting and we were arguing, the way that you behaved, like I can't deal with that anymore. And if it happens again, I need some space. I need some time apart. It's okay to do that. And I think especially as women, it's hard for us to actually follow through on that because we like to give the benefit of the doubt. We don't want to be alone. We wonder if like, would they even fight for us? So I don't think they would fight for me. So I'm going to stay. Think about that for a moment. I don't think that they would actually fight for me and try to get me back. So I'm going to stay. That makes no fucking sense whatsoever. But how many of us women do that or have done that? I know I have in the past. And now that I know my worth, absolutely never again. Because I do believe if you're meant to be with someone, it's going to happen. And if you got to kick them out the door so they get a swift little kick in the ass, so they wake the fuck up and realize, hey, that woman is going to leave me and doesn't want to be with me because I'm being an asshole. So if that person's meant to be with you, if they're for you, they're supposed to be in your life, guess what? It's going to happen. And even if that means they have to fight for you, because don't you want to know that your person will fight for you? Because the only way you can make a change in your relationship when previous times and past times have showed you that this person's not going to change. If it is a repeated behavior, my friends, you have got to just walk away. Not ask for, say, I need some space. I need some time, and let them know why, and take that time and stick to it. And you're going to know if that person is worth it because they're going to fight for you. If you have to reach out to them, go ahead and just walk away and don't go back. If they get mad at you and act out again because of a defense mechanism, probably go ahead and let the door hit them in the ass because you don't want to be back with that person. If they begin to understand, what happened and how their behavior is hurting the relationship, they're going to do what they need to do to get you back, right? And you're going to know it. You're going to see it. You're going to feel it. Things will be different. Both people in a relationship must understand. They both have to see and agree and understand that our relationship, obviously, when it's great, it's going to be great. But our relationship has got to make it through the tough times and it not be more tough than it should be. When I make you mad, even when I've pissed you off, I need to know that you are on my side, you got my back, and that you're there for me. I need to feel safe to have a bad day around you. I need to feel safe to be mad at you. I need to feel safe to share my feelings. I need to feel safe knowing that this relationship is stable and strong and you're always going to be by my side. Because as a woman who has been through way too much abuse and emotional and mental manipulation in my life and in relationships, I know those things are so important to me. If I don't feel stable in a relationship and that person, I don't trust their emotions and their mental maturity, I'm not going to be in it because I've done too much healing to go down to that. And that makes it really, really hard. In fact, if you are with someone who has a defense mechanism, as you level up in life, as you do the healing, you're going to become a trigger for them. And it's sad and it hurts. I've had too much experience in that in my life where, I did a lot of healing and that, that person just, they didn't. And I became a trigger to them. And, that's really, really hard. It's really, really hard. It's heartbreaking. Um, but you know what? What can you do, right? You're not going to stoop down to their emotional immaturity because you can't. It's not possible, right? So, what in your relationship, what is it that you need to work on? How do you handle arguments with one another? Do you feel safe talking to your person? Does that person have the ability to have a hard conversation with you, see their faults, gently share what they need to share about your faults? Because if not, it's not going to get any better. There has to be something that creates change. So, my friends, think about that. Think about your relationships and ask yourself, why am I scared to walk away? Why am I scared to set boundaries? Why am I scared to stand up for myself? Because I'm telling you right now, your relationship, the true sign of it, of longevity, of it lasting, is how the difficult times are handled, how they handle you and life and things when you've triggered them, when you've pissed them off, when things aren't great, when maybe your family life or your friend life has pissed them off and irritated them. How do they treat you? How do they act in these situations? Those are the things you have to ask yourself. My friends, thank you for tuning in. I'd love to hear from you. And if you have any questions or any stories to tell, hey, let me know. Revive by Janna is my Instagram account. Obviously, this is my podcast, Revive with Janna. And you can find my email as well. It should be in the show notes. All right. I'll talk to y'all soon. Have a great day.